Hello and welcome. Today's flight will be an instrument flight from Chino, California to Long Beach, California in a twin Cessna 340. The weather at both airports is reporting VFR, however the weather en route is reporting IFR, overcast and broken layers between 4,000 and 6,000 feet. A flight plan has already been filed and we are cleared for takeoff. On our takeoff roll, we'll be sure to advance the throttles to full forward, props, mixtures forward, fuel pumps are on, lights, camera, action. As we begin to accelerate, and note airspeed is alive, gauges are green, we'll rotate the nose at 85 and plan to lift off around 90 knots. As always, we should be spring-loaded to a board in the event of an engine failure. After takeoff, be sure to raise the gear and then pitch the nose for best angle or best rate of climb. Once you are 1,000 feet above ground level, perform the climb checklist. Power adjust to 34 inches manifold pressure and propellers to 2,300 RPM. Adjust mixture, cowl flaps, and pressurization as necessary. The clearance we were issued by air traffic control told us to fly runway heading and intercept Victor 394 to Seal Beach VOR direct. Climb and maintain 4,000. Instrument-rated pilots, flying under instrument flight rules, can fly into the clouds. Upon entering the clouds, the pilot loses reference with the ground. They must rely on their instruments for safe navigation. This particular aircraft is outfitted with the Garmin GTN 750 and 650 setup, as well as the G600 multifunction display with synthetic vision. Synthetic vision allows the pilot to virtually see through the clouds a computer-generated image out in front of the airplane. It is now time to perform the cruise checklist. Power and props should be set with mixture lean, cowl flaps should be closed, and sync phaser on for the propellers, auxiliary fuel pumps off with fuel selectors on the main tanks. Cruise checklist complete. It is time to take out the approach plate to brief the approach, which will be the ILS runway 30 into Long Beach. Briefing the approach should be done 20 to 30 miles from the airport. Since Long Beach is fairly close to Chino, it is wise to brief the approach as soon as practical after establishing cruise. The first thing to acquire is the ATIS, or Automated Terminal Information System weather, on frequency 127.75. The ATIS tells us which approach is in use, the winds, the altimeter setting, and any other pertinent information for safe arrival at the airport. After getting the ATIS, we will dial our tower and ground frequencies for standby on the radio stack. Since we will be flying the ILS approach, we must dial the localizer frequency 110.3 into our nav1. We are being vectored for the approach near the Aheim intersection. The final approach course of 301 is dialed into our HSI, and the final approach fix is Gunny intersection with a glide slope intercept of 1,600 feet. The decision height for the approach is 258 feet MSL, or if the glide slope fails, it will be 520 feet MSL. The final thing to brief is the missed approach, which is climbed 800 feet, then a climbing left turn to 3,000 feet and heading 200, and on the LAX Vortac 145 radial to Patter intersection and the LAX 21.8 DME and hold. It is time to perform the descent checklist. As we begin our descent, the ground becomes visible once again. To perform the descent checklist, place the fuel selectors on the main tanks and the auxiliary fuel pumps on low. Pressurization should be set for the altitude of the airport. Power should be at 20 inches and 2,300 RPM. Mixtures adjust, cowl flaps closed, and altimeter set. We are established on the final course, holding 1,600 feet, so that we can descend at Gunny intersection in order to reach the airport. The landing gear should now be extended, and we should be looking for 3 green lights, signifying gear down and stabilized. At or just prior to the final approach fix, commence the before landing checklist. Seat belts and shoulder harnesses should be secure, sync phasers off, wing flaps are as required. The landing gear should be down, mixtures adjusted, props full forward with an approach speed of 80 knots. Just prior to touchdown, keep the airplane aligned with the center line using bank control and rudder pedals. Reduce power slowly and begin the flare to touch on the main gear first, holding the nose wheel off until airspeed is reduced to the point where it wants to settle to the ground. Smoothly apply brakes and exit at the nearest taxiway. It is recommended to have an airport diagram available for any airport which you land so you can navigate safely on the ground. After exiting the runway, clean up the airplane, perform the after landing checklist, contact ground control, and have a great day. Thank you for watching this video. Fly safely.